This is CBS 12 News at 11.
Hello and welcome. I'm Curt Fonger. Liz has the night off. Tonight, S&P stands for more than Standard & Poor's. It stands for scolds and punishes as the ratings agency downgrades America's credit for the first time. As CBS 12's Eric Roby reports, that caps off a volatile day for stocks and ends the worst week on Wall Street in years. This next story proves you should not judge a stereo by its size.
Gotta get get. Gotta get get. Gotta get get. Gotta get get.
No, not an earthquake, just the bass pumping out of the speakers. Actually, it's not the tiny speakers doing the damage. It's from the subwoofer that's on the floor. Oh, YouTube hilarity. There you are, CBS 12 News at 11. Go to CBS12.com for local news and weather anytime. David Letterman is next. Have a good weekend.
This is CBS 12 News at 6.
A major insurer plans to pull out, leaving more than 1 million Floridians seeking new insurance policies. Hello and welcome. I'm Curt Fonger.
I'm Liz Quidante. State Farm Homeowners Insurance, which is the state's second largest insurance company, is bowing out after it is denied a big rate hike.
That means scores of you will be left hanging, but CBS 12's Jenna Eschbach is live in Jupiter with some solutions for surviving if you have State Farm right now. Jenna, thank you. The state says that if you have property insurance through State Farm, don't panic just yet because this is not a done deal. A Lake Worth man is recovering from an alligator attack. One hand was badly mangled while he was picking up trash along the shore of Lake Osborne at John Prince Park this afternoon. More from CBS 12's Al Peffley, who joins us live at the scene where a trapper spent several hours looking for the gator. Al.
Traffic.
A local couple becomes the first in America to get a clone of the family pet. We'll tell you how this was possible and wait until you hear how much they're willing to pay for this clone dog. Next one, Carlos. Many families, especially with children, can't do without milk even when prices go up. In tonight's meal deals, Eric Roby has an idea that may help you put savings in the deep freeze. A local skyline will soon be changing, becoming more impressively vertical.
That's because developers approved West Palm Beach's tallest condo buildings.
And there you are. Juan Carlos Van Hool and Emily Pantelides will be back for CBS 12 News at 7. Suzanne Boyd joins Liz for CBS 12 News at 11.
Thanks for making CBS 12 your local news leader. And remember, for breaking news, CBS 12 News is on 24/7 at CBS12.com.
Have a good evening. Earth would just be a tiny speck inside one of those flares. Those are.
It's interesting.
They're huge.
And they can disrupt, cell phone calls. Dropped calls, you never know. Those things can wreak havoc.
Ah, that's why I have dropped calls from, well,
No,
I
don't think so.
I had a bunch of drop calls today. Maybe it was the solar flares, who knows? Maybe it was the thunderstorms.
All that rain we had today? Wow.
Pat Murphy here with sports, and what did we call him? The Miami Sound Machine? Channing Crowder?
His sound bites were electric.
I miss them already.
I do too. And to be 27 and be retired.
Wow.
Okay, Michael, take a look at this video. A bizarre accident shutting down a Houston highway, and nobody really knows how it all happened. Somehow this big rig got separated from its cab and ended up leaning on an overhead sign. Nobody was hurt, but this was a big pain. Traffic backed up for miles, and it took hours to get it moving again. Now, I don't know this to be a fact, but I suppose that maybe that truck driver was using his cell phone and was taping
I am never
road
going
conditions
to live that
as he was
down.
driving down the road. I'm just saying it could
One time
happen.
I taped the rain.
It could happen to you.
I'm not doing it tomorrow,
There
I
you are.
promise. That does it for CBS 12 News at 11.
For local news and weather anytime, go to CBS12.com. David Letterman is next. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Once again, the last shuttle launch ever, and our Curt Fonger is on the scene. Curt, I can only just imagine how electric the scene must have been.
It was electric and very powerful for this launch, Juan Carlos. NASA took a little bit of a weather gamble twice today. First of all, it bet that a 30% chance of favorable weather for launch would hold true, and it did. And then there was a little bit of a stretch on the weather criteria at the emergency launch site.
Shoulders of the space shuttle, America will continue the dream.
And that was the beautiful launch, and that was George Diller from Launch Control here at Kennedy Space Center. There was some problem at the weather at the emergency landing site here at KSC, but they stretched the criteria a little bit for this 135th and final space shuttle flight. All in all, a very, very positive day for NASA. And on CBS 12 News at 5, I'm going to be telling you about the plans that NASA has for Kennedy Space Center. And we're also going to be looking at one of the more fantastic things that happened today, the Tweet Up. Tweet Up, you'll want to see that, Juan Carlos, I know that. Reporting live from Kennedy Space Center, Curt Fonger, CBS 12 News.
And Curt, you mentioned that slight delay, and I remember that at 31 seconds and counting, it stopped because of the weather. What were people thinking there at that moment?
Well, all of the tweeters that were here, they let out a big moan when there was this, it's basically a scheduled delay. It can be a delay at 31 seconds. And then when it picked up again, everyone cheered. And then we saw Atlantis soar high into the sky.
Absolutely. I wish I was there with you. Okay, Curt, thank you. We'll look forward to your reports tonight at 5.